everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jessica, and today I'm here to tell you that size matters. I know, you've been thinking all along size didn't matter, but it does. Some of you may have already figured that out, some of you may not have, but it's true. Size matters when it comes to makeup. It truly does. And I want to go over some things why I think size matters as far as makeup. The first ones I think I have a dog hair on my lip. The first things that to me are the most obvious is your real estate that you're working with. Take my left hand versus my right hand with painting nail polish. Yeah, I know I need to do them, but look specifically at these two nails. This real estate is a heck of a lot bigger than this real estate. And that's pretty much true, my right hand versus my left hand. Because I am right-handed, my right hand nails tend to be a little bit shorter because I break them or wear them down more frequently. So therefore, less polish goes onto this hand than this hand. That seems like a no-brainer, right? Take, for example, my face. While I keep a little extra weight where I shouldn't have it, I tend to have a very narrow, thin face. So I use less blush, I use less highlighter, and bronzer and stuff like that because I don't have a whole lot of face. I also have these tiny little lips right here, so I don't go through my lip products nearly as fast as someone that has these gorgeous luscious lips. I just don't have that. I wasn't blessed with it. I'm not going to be getting fillers or anything like that because I'm okay with my little tiny bird lips. But yeah, it matters. It matters when you're panning, how fast you're panning, if you have the real estate. The one thing that I do have is a lot of eye real estate. That is having a very long face. My brows tend to be a little bit higher. These little tiny things up here, these sparse little caterpillars, they're a lot higher than average, but I have tons of lid space and plenty of brow bone space, and that hooded extra flesh right there gives me a little bit more to play with. But yeah, I tend to go through eyeshadows a little bit faster than average because I've got a lot more to work with here. I've got more room to cover and where I don't have it on my lips and I don't have it on my cheeks, you got to work with what you got. And I can tell you that people that tend to pan eyeshadows faster probably have a lot more real estate. People that tend to pan blushes, highlighters, or lips faster, they have more real estate here and here. But that is not the only reason that size matters. It's not just your real estate that you're working with. It's also your products, because size matters when it comes to your products. And I'm going to show you some examples of what I mean by this. I have 3 concealers here. Well, concealers, color correctors, same basic concept. I am going to attempt to hold them up and show you. I'll show you these 2 first. This one is the Ulta Lavender Color Corrector. This is a Wet n Wild Photo Focus. Assuming these were brand new, they look about the same size, right? I mean, yeah, this cap is a little bit taller, but the actual product area looks about the same. They're not. They're not the same. They're incredibly different as far as the amount of product that is in here. This Wet n Wild, brand new, is 0.29 ounces. 0.29 ounces. Brand new, this Ulta Color Corrector is 0.08 ounces. A huge difference, even if they look the same. So if you have this Ulta in not a color corrector, but as in a concealer, as opposed to this Wet n Wild, and you're putting it in a short-term project, go for the little guy. May look the same size, but he's really little on the inside. I don't know with that sticker in there if you're going to be able to see just how much. Actually, you can probably see it right here. There's a lot of plastic around here and a lot less product on the inside. Those are the things that you need to look at. Some packaging can be very, very deceptive. Prime example is this LA Girl Pro Concealer. It is a color corrector. look how much bigger this one looks. It looks a ton bigger than this concealer right here from Wet n Wild. But they are virtually the same size. This is 0.29. This one is 0.28. So it's marginally bigger, but for all intents and purposes, they're the same size. So, big difference between this guy and these two guys. Here's another one that blew my mind when I was looking at the sizes on my inventory, because I track from when we did the years, when we started the whole years thing way back in the day. I keep track of my sizes on my inventory. This one blew my mind. Bare Minerals highlighter. This one happens to be Platinum Gossamer. This thing's pretty big, right? Here's a little tiny Becca Champagne Pop. Big difference, right? Which one, color adjust, or come on camera, adjust. Which one do you think has more product in it? Not what you would think at first glance. The Bare Minerals Platinum Gossamer has 0.05 ounces of product in here. The Becca has 0.85. So there is like almost like not quite a quarter ounce, or I don't math, but this is 0.05, this is 0.085. This has more product in this tiny little thing. Yeah, I know, math is not my strong suit right now. But look, that looks tiny. And this looks huge. Makes a difference. It really does. All right, moving on to the next thing. Eyeshadows. Eyeshadows. I am going to show you 3 different eyeshadows, and you're going to tell me which one has the most product. The one I think is pretty obvious, and that is the ColourPop Super Shock Shadow. This one happens to be in Ringlet. You can see how much product is in there. It's a lot of product. Then we have a Coastal Scents Hot Pot, little tiny pan, and another Bare Minerals. And these, packaging wise, are pretty daggone close. Next to this little guy right here. Now I think if you know anything about ColourPop Super Shock Shadow, you know this is going to be the big Mamma Jamma right here. This is the big guy, and it is. This is 0.074 ounces. That's a big guy. Now, is the Bare Minerals even close to that? And how much bigger is this one than the Coastal Scents Hot Pot? This little guy right here. Big difference. This is 0.05, the Coastal Scents Hot Pot. So obviously it is smaller than this. But the Bare Minerals is only 0.02. So you're looking at these thinking, okay, the Coastal Scents Hot Pot's smaller, it's going to be easier to use up. It's more than twice the amount of this Bare Minerals. Mind blown. Size does matter. And lastly, I'm going to go over some lip products that I have here. This one kind of blew my mind when I was doing the how many years. And I think I still have a dog hair on my lip. Yeah, it's not going anywhere. It's one of those little tiny ones. This is Buxom lip gloss. This is a Tarte lip gloss. Look how tiny this guy is, and look how big this one is. They are the exact same amount of product. The exact same amount, because if you look in the Buxom, look how much packaging. This little tiny pink circle is all the product all the way up. There is a lot of packaging on there. Whereas the Tarte, it has some, but not nearly the amount. But the little tiny pink circles, they're about the same size. So that's interesting in and of itself. And then I have these two lip glosses right here. And this one is Mally, and this one is Bare Minerals. Mally looks huge because of the packaging, but it is less than half the size of this Bare Minerals lip gloss. This Bare Minerals is 0.21. and Mally is 0.12. Significant difference in the actual amount of product, so don't just look at the size of the packaging. What's inside matters. It really does. All right, this last one that I'm going to show you, this was the kicker for me. And any of you that have ever used these kind of glosses that are like the squeezy tubes, and it seems like they last 100 years, there's a reason for that. There's a lot of product in here, like an insane amount of product. This one is CoverGirl. It's just like the Wet Slicks Fruit Spritzers, had it 100 years or so. And this is 0.44 ounces. If I could hold on to it, yeah, it's big, but it doesn't look insanely big. I mean, compared to my hand, it's not really like huge. You know, they're about the same size. This CoverGirl Wet Slicks Fruit Spritzers is the same as 6.5 of these Buxom lip glosses as far as the amount of product that's in there. And that to me is insane. I would much rather put 6 or 7 products in 6 or 7 projects than one. I'd rather get 6 of these out than 1 of these. It's crazy. 1 versus 6.5. Seriously, it blows my mind. But the reason I am doing this video is because I get a lot of people that ask me how I go through products so quickly and you know, how I pan so fast. And it truly does come down to looking at your products, planning them out, knowing how much product is in each product that you put into your project pans, and all of that makes a huge difference. Because if you're putting this bad boy in a project, whether it's 3 months, 6 months, or a year, it's going to take you a long daggone time. But if you're putting in 1 of these instead of this, you might be able to do it, even if it is a bright red. I'm just saying, size matters. Y'all know it does. And you didn't need me to tell you, did you? I mean, really, you didn't. You guys knew that size mattered, right? All right, I am going to wrap this up. I am just trying to entertain you guys during this very stressful time and keep everything panning related. So that's why I kind of started this little series, and I do have some other ideas for panning basics. If there's anything that you want to see as far as panning little tips and tricks without doing a specific, this is, you know, 10 tips and tricks. If you want it broken down into details and stuff like that, if there's anything that you want to see, let me know in the comments. Let me know what you thought about the Size Matters opener for panning basics. And yeah, let me know which one you would rather pan, this or 6.5 of these. Because, you know, some people might like the bigger one. So I'm going to wrap this up. This is Family Channel Jessica. Keep it clean. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And until I see you on my next video, have a beautiful day.